Welcome to the Exporting a Prescription video. This video is designed to provide additional instruction for how to export a prescription from SMS for use with a display or field monitor. While this may not seem to be especially challenging, there are a couple aspects regarding exporting a prescription we want to address to help you avoid frustration and make sure that exporting the prescription is done properly. Beyond helping with effective completion of the tutorial, this video will reinforce the export process from the tutorial, which is important for future practical applications of this process. Let's begin by going through how to start the export process. In the tutorial, it is suggested that you start the export process by selecting Export after right-clicking on the planning prescription. Alternatively, you can also go to File, Export to start the process, as I have done here. This will start us on the exact same process, so you can use whichever method of starting an export that you most prefer. When we select Export, the Select and Export Method window comes up. Here we want to select Export Full Device Setup to a Field Display/Monitor because this will make sure all necessary files for the prescription can be included in the export. Once this option has been selected, we will proceed by selecting the Start Device Setup Export Process button. In the next window that comes up, we have the opportunity to name the exported configuration. As mentioned in the tutorial, naming the exported configuration is very straightforward. The key here is naming the exported configuration something that you will be able to easily recognize and differentiate, especially if there are many prescriptions you are planning to save in the same location. The description can be helpful, but it is really only necessary if you think you might forget the contents and purpose of this exported configuration. Once you have named the exported prescription configuration, it is instinctive to press OK, expecting the software to take you to the next step. But this is not the case. Do not click OK after naming the configuration. Instead, we need to navigate to the next step using the tabs at the top of the window. It is important to do these next steps prior to pressing OK, otherwise the export will not contain the right information. We will now select the Field Setup tab. On this screen, we are able to select the appropriate fields to add to this exported configuration. The tutorial goes through this in detail, and this step is important for ensuring that the correct field information is included in the configuration. Again, it is essential not to press OK after adding the appropriate field for export. Now we will select the Spatial Data Setup tab. Here we add the planning prescription like in the tutorial, and now it is acceptable to press OK. The other tabs do not involve critical information for the export of these types of prescriptions. Once we have pressed OK, we need to choose how to export the configuration. In most cases, it is appropriate to choose Export to Display because the display will be what is used to execute the prescription. We will choose Export to Display, and we see that a list of companies and their displays comes up. This list should cover almost all displays that are available, from Ag Leader's own displays to John Deere's displays, all the way to Precision Planning's displays. Once you've selected your display from the menu, you should click Export to Selected Display, as we will do here. This brings up the window that allows you to select which location the exported files should be saved to. Whatever your desired location is, make sure you select it here. After selecting our desired save location, we will click OK, which will bring up any display-specific information windows that need to be completed. The most important information in these windows is often appropriate settings for the display to operate under in problematic conditions. These settings often include loss of GPS seating rates, out-of-field seating rates, and default seating rates for any location in the field where the prescription failed to define a seating rate. Outside of these type of settings, it is usually okay to leave the default settings in place unless you have been informed otherwise. The number of settings available to manipulate, as well as the order in which the settings appear, will vary between display systems. Once we have completed the settings for our display to our satisfaction, as I have hypothetically done here, we will click OK, and SMS will export the configuration that we have defined to the save location that we specified for future use. This concludes the Exporting a Prescription video. I hope that after watching this video you feel that you have a more thorough understanding of how to export a prescription. Understanding the export process is critical for future applications of this skill in your operation or your client's operations. If there are challenging parts of this help video, or if there are other challenging aspects of the tutorial for Lesson 1 that you would suggest making additional help videos for, please contact us with your suggestions. Thank you for watching and for taking the course.